Hello and welcome to Yoga and Wellness with Amanda. I'm Amanda, and in today's practice we are going to flow through a gentle hip-focused yoga flow. We're going to spend most of the time either seated or laying down on our mat, and I really just want to give us some time and some space to give a little love back to our hips, maybe even stretch out the low back a little bit, because we tend to hold a lot of tightness and tension in these areas just by our nature. We spend a lot of time sitting, whether it's driving or working, or we could spend most of the day on our feet. Either way, we put a lot of weight into that part of the body, and I just want to take some time to give back. As always, keep in mind that I'm simply a guide for your practice, and if we get into any position that doesn't quite feel right to you in that moment, please modify and adjust the body as needed. Take the pose in a way that feels good to you in this moment. And if that's not in your practice today, simply observe this video as a learning tool. With that being said, we'll grab our mat and let's get started. All right, we have our mat, so let's jump right into practice. We're going to begin in an easy seated position, or sukhasana. I really want you to take the time to feel grounded into the sit bones, feeling rooted into the earth. And I just want to take a couple breaths here. Give ourselves a chance to do a little bit of a body scan. If you'd like to close your eyes, you're welcome to. You can always gaze at a spot on the floor in front of you. And we're just going to take a few breaths here to notice what's going on in the body. I want you to notice your rate of breath, and as you're breathing, just bring awareness to the crown of the head, and then slowly bring that awareness down the body until you reach the toes. Just noticing how you feel. And I want to bring awareness to the physical body because we tend to spend a lot of time in our heads, and I want us to come out of our minds, out of our heads, and into our body and use the breath as a tool to do that. So just breathing and scanning the physical body, taking note of any sensations that you notice, and honor those throughout practice, and send the breath to any of these areas that you find that might be a little tight or tense as we begin. And just be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with the body, be gentle with the mind, and allow the breath to guide you through each pose we find today. And then once you've completed that scan, we're going to take a deep breath in, lift the arms up overhead, and on the exhale, bring the hands to heart center. We'll do 2 more breaths like this. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up overhead. Hands to heart on the exhale. 1 more. Inhale, reach up. Hands to heart, exhale. Awesome. And then from here, we are going to take what I call rib cage rolls. So we're going to begin by bringing the chest forward towards the left knee, rotating the upper body to the right, and then on the way back, kind of arch the spine and just move the upper body in a circle. Oh, sorry, there's a dog butt in the way right now. Don't mind that. We're just rotating in circles here. Just loosening up the body a little bit. And these don't have to be big circles. They can be little circles. They can be big circles. We just want to create a little bit of space here. Sending some love to the back, and then switch sides. So we're kind of waking up the upper body and the back, because a lot of these muscles are interconnected and are related to our hips. So I don't want to overextend any part of the body while we try and stretch something else. So it's always important to warm up the body in some way when you begin any type of exercise or yoga practice. And that's just what we're doing here. Take 1 more rotation, and then whenever you finish that circle, we'll meet back at center. Sitting up nice and tall, and we'll go ahead and switch the cross in the legs here. Just taking a minute to feel rooted. And we're going to take a couple of quick twist. So we're going to use our breath to guide our body as we move from right to left. So we'll inhale the arms up overhead, and on the exhale we're going to twist to the right. Bring the hands down to the mat, left hand to left knee, and we'll inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to left knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Left hand to right knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist left. Right hand to left knee. Inhale, center. We'll do one more on each side. Exhale to twist to the right. Left hand to opposite knee. Inhale back to center. Final twist to the left. Right hand finds left knee. Inhale back to center. And exhale, hands to heart. Awesome. And then we're going to, from here, we're going to find our tabletop position and do just a couple rounds of cat-cow to get things moving here. So bringing the hands to the mat about hip distance apart with the knees. Toes could be curled or uncurled, whatever you're feeling. And then we'll inhale to our cow pose. Bring the gaze forward and exhale to cat. Allow the spine to arch, the head to drop. Inhale, cow, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, cat. Head hangs, spine arches, press away from the earth. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And I want you to do 3 more rounds of this flow at your own pace. I want you to use your breath as a guide, moving in a way that suits the speed of your breath. Connecting movement and breath so they are one and the same. And then once you've completed that final round of cat and cow, we're going to reach it and return to a neutral spine. Maybe take a few ankle circles here. And then from here, we're going to find our downward facing dog. So we'll plant the hands on the mat, spread the fingers nice and wide so we're supported. Curl the toes beneath you and then lift the hips. We're going to pull the hips up towards the sky as we settle between the shoulders. Heels are reaching towards the earth as the calves are pressing towards the back of the room. Balance of the weight between the wrists, the hands, the fingertips. Feeling light and lifted, but rooted and grounded. Maybe pedal out the feet a few times here. Feeling a little bit of motion in the body, beginning to create a little bit of heat. We are doing a gentle flow, but again, we still want the muscles and the bones to be able to move with ease. And then on the next inhale, we're going to bring that right leg up to the sky and then pull it into the body for a low lunge. So we'll drop that back knee, so we're going to modify here. And we really want to make sure we keep a nice right angle with our front knee, using our fingertips to help keep us balanced. And I want us to just stay here in our lunge for a few breaths. Feel the stretch in the right hip, maybe the left glute, maybe both glutes. Breathing into the posture, creating space in the body. Notice where you feel this stretch. If you'd like, you can modify by inhaling and bringing the body up and see how this stretch feels. I feel a lot of stretch in the front of my left leg and a lot of stretch underneath in my thigh, as well as both of my hips here. We'll stay here for a breath or two. Being mindful of our alignment. And then we'll slowly come down, bringing the hands back to the mat. And we're going to come into a kind of modified half split. So we're going to begin to walk the body back. Keep the right heel planted, and you want to try and bring those right toes to point up towards the sky if you can. You can always use the wall to support you if you need, but I like to leave my hands kind of on the mat too. That is another option for this pose. And just take note of where you feel the stretch in the body here as well. If you have yoga blocks, this is a great time to use those. You can place them under the hands to help support the body here. And just breathe into the body. Where do you feel the stretch happening right now? And send the breath to those areas, wherever it may be. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, begin to bring that right foot down to the mat and walk the body back into your low lunge. Awesome. Feeling nice and grounded, keeping that right angle bend in the front leg. And then we're going to come into child's pose here. And this time I want you to bring the knees nice and wide to the outer edges of the mat. Big toes to touch. Sink those hips on the heels and surrender the forehead to the mat. Maybe we take a goalpost with the arms too. Just creating a nice wide supported stance for the body. And take 3 breaths here at your own pace. You can follow my breath or allow yours to guide you as you sync it to the movement we create. And then after that 3rd breath, walk the hands back in towards the body. Reach the fingertips towards the front of the room. And then on an exhale, walk the fingertips towards the right side of the mat. You could bring the left hand on top of the right for a little more stretch. Breathe into the side body, both side bodies here and the low back. Inhale the hands back to center. And on an exhale, now walk the hands to the left side of the mat. Option to bring the right hand on top of the left to deepen the stretch a little bit more here. Sending the breath into the side body. And then inhale, we'll come back to center. And when we're ready, we're going to lift back up into our tabletop position. And we're going to do that same flow, but on the opposite side now. So to begin, we'll come into our downward dog. So plant the hands, curl the toes, lift the hips when ready. Set up for success here. And then on the next inhale, we'll bring that left leg now up towards the sky and then tuck it into the chest, and we'll come into the low lunge on the opposite side. Drop that back knee, uncurl the toes. Make sure we're creating a nice, strong straight line, a nice right angle bend in our left leg here. And you can always reposition this back leg as needed to support yourself. I want to make sure that we're not creating any tightness here. We're just allowing for openness. And I just kind of moved my upper hand here so you can see my position. You're welcome to keep the hands in this position and keep the body straight. But we just want to take a few breaths here to really settle in and feel the stretch. Allow the body to open. Notice what the right hip is feeling, the left hip is feeling, the glutes, the thighs. Breathing into the posture. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk back into our modified half splits pose. So walking the hands towards the back body. If possible, you can bring these left toes up. If you need to come up a little bit taller, use the wall as support, you can. Oh, this side's a little bit shaky. Oh my God, can you see the shaking? My knee is going crazy. Okay, so I'm going to come down a little bit more and kind of release a little bit from the pose because that was a little too much for this side for me. But you know, each side of the body is different. Just so you can kind of see the position that the body is in right now, keeping both hands on the mat on either side of the leg for support. Breathing into the stretch. I'm feeling a really good hamstring stretch on this side. Sending the breath to any parts of the body that you really feel the stretch working right now. Take another breath here, and then we're going to come back into our lunge, walking the body forward. That side was a little bit tighter for me here. And then when ready, we're going to come into child's pose just for a few breaths this time, maybe 2, sinking the hips, releasing the forehead down to the mat. And just taking another moment to notice how the body's feeling. Giving the body a chance to rest for a moment. gonna come back into our tabletop position. And instead of going back into down dog, we're actually gonna return to a seated position. We're gonna come into seated staff. So go ahead and swing the legs around, extend the legs long on the mat. And we are going to come into a seated pigeon pose. So if you'd like to have your back up against the wall for this, you are more than welcome to. But we're gonna just kind of wing it here. And to begin, we're gonna do a figure 4. We're gonna take the right foot, bend at the knee, and bring the right foot on top of the left thigh. Now, if this is enough stretch for you, I want you to just stay here. You can even bring the right hand to the right knee and apply gentle pressure. We're not trying to torque the leg in any way, so we're being gentle. This is a gentle class, okay? And then from here, again, if this is enough stretch for you, stay here. Please stay here. If you want to deepen the pose, go ahead and bring the hands to plant on the mat near the hips, and we're going to bring the sole of the left foot to the mat. Okay. Now, this might be my limit for this side, but if you want to deepen the pose, keep that foot flat and scoot the hips kind of towards the heel there. You know what, stay as you are. I'm gonna turn around so you can kind of see what this looks like from the other side. So we have our right foot on our left thigh, our hands are planted, my left foot has come down to the mat, and then I've scooted a little bit closer to that left, what is this, my foot, my heel, okay? And we wanna sit up nice and tall. And, you know, this knee might go a little bit forward, a little bit back. You know, we just want to kind of acknowledge where that's falling and allow this to be a nice, gentle stretch for our hip, okay? Keep breathing. I want you to breathe into the stretch here. I know this could be a little bit of an intense pose. And again, reposition if you need. If it becomes too much, wiggle that left foot a little bit farther forward. That's okay. Keep breathing. We want to be active, but also allow the body to relax in the pose. 2 more breaths. You're doing awesome. And then after that second breath, slowly begin to extend that left leg and then join the right leg to the mat. Maybe wiggle it out a little bit and just take a second here. Notice how the right side of the body feels compared to the left right now, because we're gonna do it on the opposite side. So we're gonna go right into it. So we're gonna take the left foot now, bend the left knee, bring the left foot to the right thigh. Oh, my thigh's a little bit tender there. My ankle bone's giving it a little bit of a massage. Hoo-ha. All right. And then again, if this is enough stretch for you, you can stay here. Even use gentle pressure on the left knee. Very gentle. We're not cramming our leg to the mat here. We're being very gentle. So even just resting the hand is enough weight to add to the stretch here. So go easy on yourself. Our hips don't really move that way. There's bones in there that don't move like you think they do sometimes. All right, now if we want to deepen the pose, we can stay here or bring those hands to the mat by the hips and bring the sole of that right foot to the mat, okay? All right, I know you're feeling it. I'm freaking feeling it, okay? And we're gonna just breathe into the stretch, nice and easy. Again, you can stay here, or you know, if this isn't enough stretch for you, go ahead and wiggle the body even closer. Oh, I'm getting tangled on my mat here. You can scoot the tushy towards the right heel now. Now we're in kind of a seated pigeon figure 4 type action here, okay? There's a lot of ways to create similar stretches in different positions of the body depending on your orientation. And this one we're nice and seated and we're breathing and we're breathing and we're still breathing. You know, you could slowly come out of this pose early if you need to, but I invite you to try and stick it out because you got this, okay? Couple more breaths. 1 more. All right. Then slowly release by extending that right leg. Return yourself to seated. Bring that left leg down to the mat. Wiggle out the legs a little bit, and you know, how do you feel? I feel pretty good. You know, that I worked up a little bit of a sweat doing that, but I feel pretty good. All right, we're gonna do a couple more. So we're gonna come now into a baddah konasna, a butterfly pose. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together, kind of open them up as a book. And you know, if you wanna stay here, just sit, that's great. I'm feeling a good amount of stretch in my inguinal, my groin, and my legs, and all the lower extremity muscles here. But if you wanna go a little further, take a deep breath in, shine the heart forward. And as you begin to let out the breath, come into a fold, releasing the chest down to the mat, and walk the hands forward as far as feels comfortable, and just let the head hang. And just surrender to this fold for a few breaths. Noticing where you feel the body stretching, and once again, send the breath to those areas. Allow space to be created, tension to be released. And when you're ready, walk the hands back into the body, return to a seated position. Great job. We're gonna bring the knees together with the hands. We're gonna plant the hands beside us once more, and we're just gonna take a little gentle windshield wiper with the legs. I feel like we gotta do a little bit of gentle motion in here to kind of neutralize those stretches that we just did. You can keep the knees together or spread them apart. I feel this is nice right now. Do a couple more of those. And then we're gonna find stillness, and we're gonna return to our easy seated pose. We'll bring the hands to the lap, and we'll take a couple more breaths together here. We'll inhale, bring the arms up overhead, and exhale, hands to heart. 2 more. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up, and exhale, hands to heart. 1 more. Inhale, reach towards the sky, and exhale, hands to heart. Well done. I hope you're feeling invigorated from moving around gently, and I hope that you were able to bring a little bit of space into the hips and create warmth in the body. If you'd like to close out practice with me, we'll bring thumb knuckles to forehead. The beautiful, abundant, brightly shining light in me sees, honors, and respects that same light in each and every one of you. Namaste. And we did it. We made it through another yoga flow. And I hope that you learned something about your body today, that you were able to connect your mind, your body, and your breath. If you have any questions about today's practice, please drop me a comment below. If you have any suggestions or ideas for future videos, I'd love to hear from you as well. And I am so glad that you were able to spend some time on your mat today and create a little space in your body. If you liked this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you really liked this video, please consider subscribing, because I'd love to continue to create content to share with you on this channel. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.